Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video by yours truly. It is now that time to discuss the latest, most hyped up unit of Honkai Star Rail. There's been a lot of talk around town with regards to her performance, and good old Gacha Smack is here to give you his thoughts. So we're going to talk about Numby and Topaz. No. Unity CEO's president. No, that's not it. Mid-Amation's Topaz, right? No. Topaz and Numby. That's the one. I look forward to the hate watchers fucking look forward to that shit. I always love giving them a good old pull on the leg. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, there's a lot to talk about with her. I wrote down some points that are going to cover all the things that I've been researching with regards to her kit. And I think we got some good information for you guys. Let's go ahead and start off with number one. Speed, unlike with other hunt path units, is very important for Topaz. Why? So, well, first let's talk about speed for the other units. We got Sela, Dan Hung, and Su Shang. Those are three great examples. You rock attack percent boots on them because they actually have good speed or action value equipped into their traces or kit in some way or form that enables them to go multiple times without even worrying about a speed boot. So because of this, they can go twice. Some of them just allow themselves to go immediately again, such as Sela or Dan Hung if he kills somebody, right? Because of this, they don't have to worry about speed a lot. Now, you do got to do like a little bit of tuning just to ensure that they hit those markers, right? But for the most part, self-sufficient in terms of going multiple times. This is not the case for Topaz. It is the case for Numby, but Numby's going multiple times is directly tied to Topaz going or follow-up attacks happening on the team. Basically, what I'm trying to say, though, is Topaz's kit does not have anything in it that enables her to go multiple times when compared to people like Sela, Dan Hung, and Su Shang. So you absolutely have to prioritize building a ton of speed on her. Now, with that being said, I think the prevalence of Asta ran next to her is going to be very important for her performance to be optimal. I think it's going to be even more important than running somebody like Bronya with Blade. Blade doesn't really need Bronya, but his performance is noticeably higher when he has Bronya. Same thing with Jing Yuan and Ting Yun. He doesn't actually absolutely need Ting Yun. I don't know. It's kind of debatable. He kind of needs Ting Yun. But I would say even more of a higher value is placed on Asta with Topaz. And that's because if she can go multiple times, that's going to speed up the action value of Numby. And they're going to be going like 6 swings amongst the two of them in a single battle. But I do want to be clear here. She, based on, and I've calculated everything on her too, so she's not a main DPS, but she's not far from the capabilities of dishing out damage like a main DPS would. I would say she's stronger than a sub DPS in the game right now, but a little bit weaker than the main DPS of today, such as Imbiber Lune and Jing Liu. She's not dishing out that kind of damage. It's not happening. But that's not where her value lies. Her value lies in the fact that she's able to dish out really good damage while also being skill point efficient and given one of the most broken damage bonuses into the game, except it only is going to apply to follow-up attacks. So being able to check off all those boxes puts her at a very high value pickup for me if you're somebody who has follow-up attack characters on your account. And we're talking about Clara, we're talking about Blade, we're talking about Jing Yuan, Herta even, we're even talking about Kafka. Yes, Kafka can be a thing if you run Kritka next to her and they're doing their 2 follow-up attacks, effectively guaranteeing Numby to be 100% action advanced forward. It's huge. Don't sleep on that one. But, you know, apart from that, the biggest values, of course, are going to be Clara and Jing Yuan, people who actually deal really ridiculous follow-up attack damage because their multipliers are so high. In fact, Jing Yuan has the highest multiplier in the entirety of the game with his follow-up attack. In fact, if you were to crown your Jing Yuan's talent, he has a 660% multiplier of single target damage, not including the adjacents, to one single enemy. So the damage of somebody like that receiving the multiplicative follow-up attack synergy bonus from Topaz, that is nothing to scoff at whatsoever. So I think she does have potential to ripple up the meta, not because she herself is dealing absurd amounts of damage, but because she herself is doing very respectable damage and then enabling the other person on the team to deal absurd amounts of damage. Which leads me into my next thing. In order for her to do this, she doesn't even have to use any skill points. She's actually very skill point positive. she is going to be the new best DPS in the game when it comes to skill point efficiency. She's going to be better than Jingliu and Blade. And the reason being is because she never really has to use her skill except one time. And that one time is going to be to put the proof of debt on the target of your choice. However, there's an RNG factor in her kit that states if nobody has proof of debt on their head, then it will be applied to somebody at random. So if there's only 2 people on the field, you have a very strong chance of it just falling on somebody's head without even having to use her skill. And this enables her to just continue auto attacking and funneling points to the team, enabling your team to use their skill points without worrying about any skill point efficiency. That is a massive, massive W for a DPS to do these type of things while also doing very respectable damage between her and her Pokemon. I mean, Numby. So that's something that's worth considering. And with all of that being discussed, this is a character that is very, very power creep proof, at least very hard to power creep. She has very strong longevity. She is skill point efficient. She's multiplicative damage bonus friendly with her freaking synergy, and then she deals respectable damage. That is a character that's much harder to power creep than somebody who can only deal damage. There can always be another unit coming down the road who's going to be able to deal more damage, right? But trying to replace a unit such as this, it's very hard to replace. Now, the other thing I want to tell you guys about is that she has the most insane damage bonus kit I've ever seen. This girl got 18 million damage bonuses inside of her kit. Not to mention she's synergistic with sword play, and at S5 sword play gives an 80% damage bonus. But not to mention her to store like cone is also going to be a strong option on her as well. So she's looking very free to play friendly to build. There's only one big issue we're going to run into here, and unfortunately it's in the leak territory, ladies and gentlemen. But just know you might not want to overly invest in the existing relics and sets that are in the game today. Now, maybe, hypothetically speaking, there might be some new drip coming around the corner that just might shake up how you build your characters with follow-up attack synergies. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Well, maybe. We'll see what happens there. So that's the only issue. There might be a lot of upfront grind should that happen. The other thing I want to take into consideration, and this is a negative for her kit, the only real obvious thing I've seen that's a real problem with her kit is energy recharge. She has a horrible energy recharge efficiency. Now, unfortunately, I can't really go into the details about it because this hasn't been revealed. I can just tell you she's gonna have some energy recharge problems, and even an energy recharge rope isn't gonna fix the problems. She has one of those kits where it's like Sampo and Luca. If you put an energy recharge rope on Sampo and Luca, they still gonna have some energy recharge problems, right? So that's an issue with her, but it's an issue because if she had infinite uptime on the Bonanza state that buffs the hell out of Numby, she would be doing Jingliu and Imbibe Lune damage. I'm not even kidding. And that's because Numby can go like 4 times in a single cycle, and 4 times in a single cycle is quite literally Imbibe Lune and Jingliu damage with the Wind Bonanza state on top of her auto attacks as well. So it makes sense, but it's worth mentioning that don't think you're gonna have 100% uptime on her outside of like a Ting Yun. And then that's another problem because you have to kind of run her with the Asta. So running her with the Asta and Ting Yun, now you're trying to run a hyper buff Topaz comp, which don't get me wrong, I'm sure you can zero cycle with it. You can zero cycle with a lot of shit these days, but it's not the like ideal way to play Topaz. But then again, play her however the hell you want to play her. Anyways, is there anything else I left out with my little notes? No, that is about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna wrap up today's video. Those are all the thoughts, research, and due diligence that I've done thus far. I look forward to her coming out so I can pair her up with my Jingyuan and my new E1 Clara. I got an E1 Clara, guys. Are you jealous? It's all right, man. Don't worry, I lost it to a 50-50 to Jingliu, and then I got her completely lucky on a single pull on the standard banner. So it is what it is. I look forward to pulling for Topaz and Numby on my main account and my free-to-play account. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll see you on the flip side.